What's on the plate today is I'm going to try to put this car into that garage. Not quite as easy as one would think. The first challenge I have is that 3 of the 4 tires are flat. And we moved this back in December or maybe early January. And at that time we have put air in all the tires, but only one of them have remained full. And that's this tire in the front. And most likely these tires have not been off since it was parked in 1970. So I'm going to need to do a little pre-work to get that done. Another challenge with the car is, and I don't remember which tire it was, but one of the tires kind of was locking up on and off as we were pulling it onto the trailer. And so I might have to address that before we can roll it into the garage. The goal is to be able to roll it into this garage. Now it was parked in this garage by Great-Grandpa Toby back in '42 when he bought it new. But as the car has gotten older, so has this garage. And I've actually been working in here already. You couldn't even walk in a couple days ago. And listed these appliances here on Facebook Marketplace for free because I live in the middle of nowhere. And there's no such thing as a garage sale out here. So get them out of here for free and start clearing it out and making some room. But there is decades and decades of accumulation in here, and have some repair work to do. Have some termites in here that I've got to take care of, get this thing put back up and safe. Still has the original sliding doors on it. Originally this had a Model T parked in here way back in the day. And there was actually a door over on this wall for a side entrance. And they had their generator out here before there was any public electricity. You can see that back wall has been replaced. And it's got a new roof on it. So it's waterproof again. But it's definitely getting worn out over the years. Now, first thing I need to do before getting back in the garage is that I need to get into my trunk here. Get some WD-40. I don't know about anybody else, but I keep a floor jack stands, and pretty complete set of tools in here. And the thing I'm looking for, right here. Gotta get some WD-40, put that on the lug nuts. I have a feeling I'm gonna need all the help I can get getting these off. And so give everything a good soaking, not knowing how deep this job's gonna go. And this is the last one here. There we go. Let that soak while I work. Well, that time lapse sure makes it look easy, but it's kind of interesting. I thought that I knew what was in this garage, but it's pretty cool when you get back and you find something new. 1933. Let's see. I think there's 2 of them here. I don't know if they're the same. 1934. Kansas plates. Like I said, these are some old Model T car in here before the '42 Super DeLuxe. And so I actually have about probably 40 license plates that I found in this garage and the various buildings around the farm that I've cleaned up and saved. And so I'm gonna have to wash these and see what kind of condition they're in. They're straight, just maybe a little bit rusty. Pretty good find though. It's also kind of nice. The wind is out of the northwest today, and this is the east side of the garage. And so all this dust I'm kicking up is just swiftly getting pulled out through the holes in the wall and this door. So I'm actually not breathing too much of it. I was thinking about that. That dust is probably some manure that came off my wife's great-grandpa's boots, you know, 80, 90 years ago. One other thing I might add is that these old roller doors aren't really rollers anymore. They're really hard to move. Once they're closed, it takes a couple guys just to open one of them up. And so I'm planning to put the car on this side. You may be wondering, well, why the heck are you putting everything over there where you wouldn't want to put the car? Because I know my personality. And I know that if I start there, as soon as I get it done, I'm going to put the car there. And I'm not going to do any of this stuff here. And so I figure I'll start with the spot that's furthest away from the car, get it cleaned up. And then by the time I make it over to this part, then everything else is going to be in fairly good condition. And all the junk that I want cleared out of here is going to get cleared out of here. And so it's going to end up in a lot better shape than if I just cleaned the spot, stuck the car in here, got tired, got unmotivated, and moved on to the next project. Progress is going slow on this project, which honestly I was expecting. I'm really wanting to get the tires off of the 42 and into the Co-op to see if we can salvage any of them today. And so I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to move away from this project, which I'm happy with the one corner, but I'm going to move away from that and get back to the 42 and see if I can get the wheels off. All right, let's get the Chevelle moved over and get that jack out of the trunk. You know, in a way, it's kind of crazy to think about the fact that the last time these were loosened, I probably wasn't alive. This car was parked the year before I was born. WD-40 doing its job. Get these all crack loose and then jack it up. Wow, this is amazing. Give it a good shake. Cannot believe how easy these are coming off. Just shows the kind of junk we build nowadays. Where the WD-40 got all the way in there. The threads are all wet. Ah, fancy white walls on the back side. Good Mennonite hid those. Good year. Now let's see if the front ones come off as easy as the back. Oh, nice. Woohoo! Wow, smooth as butter. Now to see if I can get the jack under there. Ah, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. think I'm in a good spot. It's just hard to see. What's the worst can happen, right? Get this in the air a little bit. I'll take a second look. I think that'll work. Hi, I'm on the ground. I just wanted to show you. So our jacking is on the shackles, I guess it'd be called, of the spring that goes across this cross spring here. And you can see on that side, it appears to be broken. I'm not real comfortable with this because I'm having to jack it so high to release the compression of the spring before the tires will come off the ground. And the jacks on the rear axle are in soft soil. And so the risk of those possibly tipping or something is higher than I want it to be. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get something under here to support it, put a jack under there, then get under this, I don't know what it's called, axle front cross member. But basically it's solidly tied to the front wheels. And so that, when you jack it up, it will immediately lift the tires off the ground. And so I think I'm going to try that. Get that out of there. See if that'll hold it enough. The tire on the other side has air in it, so it's keeping it up off the ground. That'll work. Right under the center. Much better. So I'm going to have to jack the body up less because the axles are going to go up there. Much better. Much safer. So I really want to go in this soft soil. You know, normally your jack rolls when the car doesn't, or the car rolls when the jack doesn't, and neither want to roll. So I'm going to get this up high enough where I'll be able to get the tire back on. Jack under the axle. That should do it. And I'll just leave the jack under there for a little extra safety and get this tire off. That bearing is nice and smooth. There's the secret sauce right there. Let me just crawl over here and show you. See that? Anti-seize. Hopefully that focuses in. That's the secret sauce. There we go. All right, well, I'm gonna chunk these tires in the trunk of the Chevelle. We're gonna run to the co-op shop, see if we can get some of them fixed. Here we are. Well, that was a little bit painful. None of the tires were salvageable. And so I got a good deal on some used tires, since it didn't really matter. They just needed to hold air. It didn't even need to be roadworthy. And so they were $5 a piece. So I got $15 in tires, but the mounting added $30 total, and the tire disposal added another $10.75. So even though I only have $15 in tires, the whole package ended up costing me $60. I got back home and got the tires out of the car and realized they're all different, which I told the guy, I said, I don't really care what they are as long as they hold air. But I did notice that 2 out of the 4, or 2 out of the 3 that I bought are low profile tires. And the one is it's almost like a radial trail tire. And then the one that's on the front that still holds air is also going to be a 70 series tire, P23570. So I think I'm going to pull that one off and put these 2 lower profile tires on the front and give this old girl a little bit of a rake. The tires are on. Have the fatties in back and the low profiles in front. The fatties I actually had trouble getting in because I had the axle jacked up. I couldn't get them in past the fenders, and so I ended up having to mess around with that a little bit and actually change the location of the jack to go under the spring. I don't know what it's called, but where the spring mounts in the center, and then that allowed me to let the axle drop down to be able to get this in. But you can see the tires really tucked up under there. But yeah, it'll be good to roll this around. One trouble that I am going to have to address, and I'd love to hear if anybody has any suggestions, and that is on this front hub, it's locked up. I don't know if it's the brake that's locked up or if it's the bearing that's locked up, but I couldn't get it to move. I beat on it a little bit with a hammer just in case it was just some rust or some dirt that had seized it, and that didn't. I do remember when we loaded this on the trailer, when we were rolling it up with the winch, it did kind of move and lock up as we were rolling it. And so gonna have to dig into that a little bit. So if you have any ideas on what to do, I'm actually thinking about hooking the pickup to it and pulling it backwards and maybe even pulling it out on the road, getting on some dry pavement and seeing if that'll just break it loose. And if that doesn't work, any tips you have, old Ford guys, I would appreciate it. But thanks for watching. Bye-bye.